Brandes, and I'm going to be the moderator in the debate of this morning. Today's topic is absolutely controversial and polemical. It is based on the next statement. Gifted children should be singled out for preferential treatment. They should be given advantage that others don't get in order to nurture their special talents. So the question of the debate is, should gifted children receive a better treatment than others in order to nurture their special talents? Here in my left is Yorgo Zambrano. He's going to argument for the statement. Yorgo has a PhD in psychology and pedagogy. He's a psychology professor in the University of Harvard, with more than 2 decades of an amazing career. He is author of the bestseller book, When Psychology and Philosophy Meet, and the creator of the theory of genetic intelligence. He is considered one of the greatest philosophers of our time. And here in my right is Max O'Heller. He's going to argument against the statement. Max is a university student. Well, so let's begin. Dr. Zambrano will be the first one. He now is going to present his arguments in a single way. Next to him, Max will present his arguments in a basic way. Then we're going to discuss each of them. You both only are permitted to expose 3 arguments. Dr. Zambrano, please begin.
Thank you, Joseph. I think gifted children should have their own school to develop their own talents, because in that way they will help human race. It's more like a moral issue. Also, I think that they have to relate more with other gifted children, because in that way they won't be retarded with other children, and they're going to be in the same level as them.
Okay, great, Dr. Zambrano. Now, Max, please tell us your arguments.
Okay, thank you, Joseph. I believe that all children should be treated equally. If not, that would be discrimination. All children are innocent, and therefore they can recognize if they are gifted. It's the wider society around them that make the difference between others. Children are wonderful human beings, whom we should not throw them misconceptions of superiority among others. It would only produce unhealthy competitive relationships between them.
Well, we have listened to the arguments of each posture. Arguments for the moral issue of helping to develop humanity, gifted children being retarded by others, and to have an optimal environment to develop their intelligence. And arguments against intellectual discrimination, society influence in their intelligence, and unhealthy competitive relationships. Now we're going to discuss the first argument of both. This will be like a formal conversation between 2 gentlemen, please. Let's begin with a question, Dr. Yorgo. What do you think this is a moral issue?
Yeah, well, it is a moral issue since the moment that we're all talking about the future of humanity. Okay. We must ensure that the next generation will live in the best world that we live in right now. And in order to achieve that, it's needed to put effort in helping gifted children to become genius people and change the world.
Well, that is true, Dr. Zambrano. The future of humanity is our priority, but but you're forgetting something. That we are talking about things, human beings, not things. If we separate gifted children from others, they are going to feel bad because they are not good enough to be with the gifted children. It would be like racism. It is an intellectual discrimination.
I understand your point of view. I don't refer to create a hierarchy educational system. I refer that in some points gifted children should have a little bit more facilities so they can grow intellectually for their effort. It is like going to the university, only the ones with the good grades go in.
So you mean like recompenses for their effort?
Exactly, even though it could apply for children that are not considered genius.
Well, let's move to the second point. Now, Max, the question is for you. You say that society makes a difference between children. So do you mean that our intelligence comes entirely from the environment?
Well, I think so. It is like evolution. If your environment is the optimal to survive, you will survive and reproduce, and consequently to develop in a better way. It is the same way with intelligence.
I have to disagree with you. If the intelligence is determined entirely by the environment, how can you explain some genius people like Johannes Kepler had a childhood of poverty and misfortune? It makes more sense that intelligence be determined by genetics. Also, you have to accept that for a gifted children it is prejudicial to be in the same classroom that one with cognitive problems.
Well, actually, if genetics determine intelligence, then the sons of Einstein, Newton, Darwin, and others will be genius as well. And we all know that it is false. Children that grow in misfortune often create an environment that is optimal for their learning and curiosity. Poverty is not synonymous of stupidity. In what point could be prejudicial for a gifted child be in the same classroom that a child with problems?
In the point that gifted child could be retired by the other ones.
Well, maybe his intelligence won't develop at its maximum, but he could develop other qualities like humility by helping the child with problems. It is God to give help when someone else needs it. Intelligence without humility is like being a president without ethical values. It doesn't work, even though my argument refers that society only increases intellectual differences. Sometimes children are as smart as people think they are.
Wow, Max, that was really a good answer. Now let's continue with the last argument. Dr. Zambrano, do you think it is necessary for a kid to have an optimal environment so he or she can develop his or her intelligence in the best way? It is not contradictory to your idea of genetic intelligence?
Well, actually, it's a little bit contradictory, but it doesn't stop being true that children need to receive preferential education and some advantages so they can have the perfect environment for their intelligence.
Well, for me, that is false in one part. It is obvious you need an optimal environment for an optimal function. In this case, to develop intelligence. But there is no need to create a competitive system in which children could be mentally and emotionally affected. They are only kids. They don't know what is superiority. If we create such a hierarchical system, they could suffer psychological problems. So you should know that, Dr. Zambrano.
But Max, look at the case of Sigmund Freud. During his childhood, he always received a special treatment for his parents. He always was a preferential son. And now he's recorded for his crucial work in psychoanalysis.
Yes, it is true, but I repeat, it is not necessary. Sigmund Freud could create his optimal environment by himself, avoiding conflicts between him and his brothers. That is the problem with the world. The altruism has been replaced by a competitive system. People don't help each other as in past centuries. Children are our hope to change that. And I insist to expose them to a competitive system. Not only we develop their intelligence, also that they will develop egoist values.
Okay, that was amazing, Max. As moderator of the debate, I have the decision of choosing the winner. First of all, I have to say that it has been a really nice conversation. You both have brilliant minds, really. Now, according to the arguments exposed, I have to say that Max Ojeda actually deserved to be the winner of the debate. He's right when he said that intelligence without value is amoral. Also, Dr. Yorgo Pensobran has reason when gifted children should be recompensed by their effort with some advantages, but not in a hierarchy and competitive system. Also, I think we can agree that intelligence comes 50% from genetics and 50% from environment, I think. And as final resolution, I would say that gifted children can receive some advantages, but never in a discriminatory way. And they should keep with other children in order to develop moral values like humility. Okay, that has been all for today. Thank you, Dr. Zambrano and Max, for coming.
It has been a pleasure.
Thanks to you, Dr. Zambrano. Thanks to you, Jessica.